Rizzo, man, that guy can jam. His album is on Spotify. I want to give him as much credit as possible because he lets us use an official song in the world of podcasting, where you can't really use real music unless you have the big bucks. So thank you so much, Aaron Rizzo. Gasoline is the name of that song. You can search Aaron Rizzo again on Spotify. And welcome back to episode 8 of the Chris Konya Show. Thank you so much for watching these 20-minute long videos. Hopefully you're doing it not against your will. You're doing it because you are entertained, or you have faith that eventually you will be entertained. However you're doing it, and for whatever reason, welcome back. And thank you so much if you're listening on the audio end. We're looking to get on iTunes ASAP. We're waiting on Apple. They're too busy releasing new phones and stuff like that to approve the podcast. But you figured it out if you're here, so thank you so much for that. I'm very excited. I've been working on this for a couple of weeks now to get this guy on the show. He is a stand-up comedian, very funny. I cherry-picked him by going to see him at Comedy at the Carlson, and he decided to come and give the Chris Konya Show a chance. Please welcome Richie Weissinger to the show.
Yo, thanks for having me, man. This is freaking awesome, dude, for real.
For a guy who gets introduced while you're, doing your comedy thing. How was my introduction, okay?
It was great. You got my name right. It was awesome.
I did have to ask you before the show.
Yeah, but you did it right still. I've had some horrible experiences with my name.
With the Weissinger part?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah, dude. People have murdered it before. I don't even care anymore, to be honest with you. I had this one guy in Miami. I was so nervous. He's like, yeah, how do I say your name? I'm like, it's Richie Weissinger. He's like, all right, cool, man. Got it. Give me 5 minutes. He goes up, does his set, and then he looks at, I know I'm up next, and I'm already super nervous, right? And he's like, all right, this guy coming up stage next, very funny guy, good friend of mine, dude, awesome guy. Keep it going for Mike Hagenbacher.
He John Travolta'd it?
Completely wrong. And I was like walking up, and I'm like,
am I
is
up?
there a mic here? But it was me. But it worked out great, though. But so it is what it is.
Do they ever introduce comedians as like this instead of very funny guy? They're like, oh, he's all right. He's a decent, funny. He makes some people laugh sometimes.
I mean, it depends. I think if you're bringing up your friend, you might have like a funny intro for them. I usually get something like, I'll get something like corny about like, how I look, about like, working out, or about something stupid like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you might have seen this guy next on Flex magazine.
Sure.
Keep it going for Mike Hagenbacher, something stupid. But yeah, but nothing too bad.
How's comedy, doing comedy in Rochester? I mean, how is it? I just see how much access we have to all these gigantic comedic names nowadays with Instagram, social media. The same old argument or discussion that people have. How is it trying to come up and start from the ground?
In Rochester? It's
or anywhere.
It's so I actually started doing comedy in Orlando.
Okay.
So it was a lot different in Orlando, because in Orlando you could literally hit 4 mics in one night. And then basically you can go an hour in any direction and hit a huge stage with a huge name, or just hang out. And it was just so much opportunity.
More of like a scene.
It was just it was a completely different scene, different community, different scene, a lot of opportunities. And I was just fucking around. Like, I wasn't even trying. I literally was just having fun. And I didn't even realize the opportunities that I had in front of me. If I knew what I knew now, I would have tried.
That's a catchy little phrase. You should coin
that.
If
I knew what I knew now.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, well, if I would have known that the good old days were the good old days when they were good old days. No, but yeah, for real. And then when I came back to Rochester, it was tough because it was just, you got the Carlson.
Right, which is fairly new, by the way.
Yeah, so I think it's like 2 years new.
That I think what was it called? The Rochester Comedy Club or something before that?
So if I'm correct,
and that was in Webster.
Yes, but before that, they also had one in Henrietta called the Comics Cafe, which they were bringing in big names to all three of those clubs got big names. Because I remember when I was a kid, I went and saw like some big names at the Comics Cafe before I even did comedy.
Now, do you think the comedy scene is on the way up, on the way down here? Is it kind of stagnant? Does it have anything to do with Kodak and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's everything's. Well, no, I don't know, dude, because I will tell you that I don't get out as much as I should. I got 2 kids. I got a wife.
Yeah.
I did my time And I don't want to sound entitled because you should always hit mics. You should. I'm
Meaning,
I'm an offender.
For people who don't know what that means going to an open mic, just like somebody trying comedy for the first time and practicing your jokes.
Always hit mics.
Like going to the gym.
Exactly. You
comedy.
can't just not hit mics. You got to show your face if you want to get booked. But the only problem is in Rochester, there's really one main stage in Rochester. Then you have to go to Syracuse. You got to go to Buffalo. I think there's like, I feel like there might be something in Niagara Falls. I would hope with the casinos, but I don't
Seneca
know.
Niagara Resort, I think maybe might have one.
I would. Oh, and then they got the Del Lago Casino.
Del Lago, sure.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure they do comedy there too. But I'm an offender. I don't hit the stages. I don't go out. I'm not in the scene like that. I feel like I did my time. I got kids. I'm not gonna show my face. I'm not gonna take time out unless there's money involved. Just I can't bullshit around, man. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I was featuring down in Orlando. I did my time. I was, I think I want to say I'm a professional comedian, but I need to get paid, so I can't fuck around unless it's like I'm working on new material or I'm getting paid. I got kids.
There's a lot of crappy jobs in comedy, right? Not crappy, but not the prestigious, doing a Netflix special or performing at Madison Square Garden that everybody may think that have, people, just regular people who go enjoy comedy and not try to be a part of it. There's like cruises and stuff
dude.
like that, and like
birthday
parties. Is it
the perks of comedy alone are why I once okay. So I did comedy because I was told you should do comedy, so I tried it, and I did it at a coffee shop in Orlando, a place called Austin's. They run a sick open mic every Sunday, sick open mic, packed.
Okay, I want to talk about the cadence of an open mic, because I've been to open mics outside of Rochester, and I feel that Rochester open mics are way different. But keep going on that story. I just didn't want to forget it.
So first open mic I ever did, packed. All these college kids, like from the back to the front, sitting on the stage.
Damn.
Every Sunday. I did well. I'm like, holy shit.
I'm fucking funny.
Dude, I got this. So then the next night, I'll never forget it. I went downtown Orlando, did the same exact set, thinking, okay, I can do this. Bombed so badly.
How confusing is that?
It was I was totally blown away, and that when I bombed, I said, I gotta do this. I gotta figure it out. So then I kept doing it, and I just had fun. I was having fun before the shows, after the shows, during the shows, with my friends, just goofing around. But then once I started getting paid to fuck around, I got it.
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
Hooked.
That's got to be addicting.
$25. Yeah.
It's like when somebody first let me on the radio. I'm like, that's the end of my job for the day. I just we say goodbye. I cut up some audio on the computer, sitting in a chair, coming from a blue collar background. I'm like, this is it? They're going to pay me, 30, 40 grand a year to do this?
Dude, once I started cashing paychecks for comedy, I was like, dude, I need more for this funny money. I was hooked. I was calling it funny money.
Yeah, wow. You definitely deserve some gigs after that.
Yeah. Oh, and then when they started putting them up in hotels.
For free, right?
Yeah.
Because
dude, I was getting hotels on Oceanside down in Florida. I was like, fucking dude, yeah, dude. Like, why would I not try to do this? I'm getting free vacations while I'm already living on vacation. Yeah. And I'm getting paid for it. Food, drinks, money, a nice view. You're
the center of attention to make everybody's night. Like not even trying to sound like an egomaniac. It feels good to make people feel good. I don't care if you're donating money to a cause, if you're making them laugh, if you're doing something to make them just feel good. That's always.
It's a huge rush too, man. There's nothing like it. I actually get more nervous and more scared when I'm like doing an open mic in front of like almost nobody. I am always scared out of my mind before any time I hit the mic. I was nervous before I did this. I was cool talking to you before, and then when it was like, once you started doing the intro, I'm like, oh shit.
I could totally tell the difference.
Well, now as I start talking, it's
okay,
now.
You're good.
Yeah,
all right, I was joking.
It's the before I open my mouth, I'm like, I'm gonna probably fuck this up.
So what did it all change? Is it
with the comedy? How I feel
your
now?
hotels and trip
Once
cocktail.
I moved back to Rochester, Once I moved back to Rochester, so what happened in Florida was I half-assed it. The company I was working for consolidated, so I lost my job. Then I started doing little bullshit jobs, doing comedy, acting, not getting paid. because when you're doing comedy and you're trying to act and you're half-assing it, dude, you were just leaking.
Right.
You can't stop. You can't stop it. I was picking lemons off of trees in Florida, squeezing them into hot water and drinking it slowly to kill my appetite.
Damn.
Yeah, because as I was starving, dude.
Well, I got that with the kill the appetite.
I mean,
thing.
that's why I was doing it. That's the story actually behind that. I was starving
to death, and I just needed to use nature to survive.
Stealing little snacks and shit to get by, dude. It was tough, man. I was in great shape though after that. But then what happened was yeah, man, I half-assed it, dude. I didn't take it seriously. I didn't have any headshots. I didn't try to get an agent. I didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't audition for a lot of stuff that I should have auditioned for. But I was just having so much fun. You know, I don't know. And then I met my wife, dude. I did a tour up the East Coast. Just over 3 years ago, almost 4 years now. I did a tour up the East Coast to be in my friend's wedding. Met my wife at the Webster Comedy Club.
Oh,
and
really?
The only reason why I went there was because I never did comedy in Rochester. I wanted to see what it was like.
Sure.
She was the bartender. So I went in there. I said, "Hey, I'm a big shot." No, I didn't.
They put me in hotels.
Do you know who the fuck I am? Do you smell lemon on my breath?
Yeah.
Because I'm a comedian.
Look how skinny I am.
Do you see this?
Those aren't.
No, actually, I went in
Related.
there. It was crazy too, because like my wife is gorgeous. All right, in my eyes, I think she's the most beautiful girl. And in Orlando, it's Florida, dude.
Yeah,
There's
right by
beautiful
Disney. All those
there's
MILFs,
beautiful women everywhere,
fanny packs
and
everywhere.
I couldn't even talk to my wife. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Long story short, I moved back here, married her. We got 2 kids, and at this point, I got a full-time job. I got a couple part-time jobs, and I get paid now to do comedy. So
yeah, that's how I saw
where
you.
it changed, dude.
I saw you. You said feature before, and I don't know. I personally don't even know. Is it open? How's the hierarchy of a comedy show? When somebody who's listening or watching right now, you go to a comedy show. There's multiple. Even though you're going to see, say, Richie headline, there's some people before
There's different
him.
levels to it.
And what are those levels?
So the MC.
That's the guy who keeps, or the
That's
girl
the
who keeps coming back up.
Correct. Yeah, that's the master of ceremonies. That's the guy that introduces each comedian. Lets the whole audience know, hey, we got a show going on.
Mm-hmm.
They are I think that they're pretty much the most important.
Yeah, kind of the glue.
Correct. They take the bullet for everybody else. They're up there telling everybody there's a show, trying to tell their jokes. Well, basically, everybody's ordering food and drinks. No one gives a shit, you know? No one gives a shit about the host. But I think the feature and the headliner, they should definitely treat the host with the most respect, I think, because I think they're the most important piece, personally.
So feature is the second.
Feature is the opening act for the headliner.
Okay.
And then you might have a guest spot. And
or a middle or something, right?
That's like the middle act.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's host, feature, headliner.
Gotcha.
And then you might have a guest spot, which is like that person is probably doing a tryout for the club.
Okay.
Or they might be a friend of someone and they're doing 5 minutes. So they're the person that really ain't shit.
So back to the open mic thing.
Yeah.
When I was I lived in New Jersey. I grew up in New Jersey, and I went to the Stress Factory in New Brunswick, New Jersey. It's right by Rutgers campus. And I went to an open mic, and it was very, very cutthroat. Like, if you weren't making people laugh, they gave you the light, which in comedy means you have, 1 minute, 2 minutes left.
Wrap it up. Yeah.
Wrap it up. Get off the stage.
Mm-hmm.
They gave you the light like you were, anybody else. It could have been 2 minutes of garbage and they knock you off. Up here in Rochester, if you go to an open mic, it's very fair in a way where you get 5 minutes no matter what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, dude. I think
Are you for the more?
No, I think they should definitely get people off that are bombing, especially if there's an audience there.
Because you don't know that you're bombing, right? If you go up for 5 minutes and quote last 5 minutes, how do you know where things went wrong if the whole set was wrong?
And some people are delusional too.
Delusion, I think, runs thick in this. I can't. It's hard to talk crap about local open mic
and
potential
I'm
comedians.
not gonna talk shit about.
I mean, it's not hard to talk crap. I'll be honest with you, but I don't want to
talk shit about anybody. But dude, fuck, no, I'm sorry.
I don't want to do it public because I don't. Those guys and girls.
Everybody's trying, and they all start. Dude, I listen.
But a little self-awareness, I think, could help the whole Rochester scene.
Think about it, dude. Not even just Rochester, but any type of entertainment. Like, how many people do you see go on American Idol and embarrass themselves because they think that they're a good singer? Because grandma, auntie, uncle,
Sure.
and whoever else thought that they were a good singer, you know? And then they go up there and they just believe that they are, and they suck, and they have no idea.
Because what happens is they suck. There's more people that suck because they have nothing to lose. I'm going to go up there and give my 5 minutes that I practiced in front of the mirror. And then what happens to the crowd? They're not going to sit
not
through
gonna come back
2
either.
hours of sucking
And they're not going to come back.
at all.
Right. Well, I think it is another part of it too is some people think that just because they get up on stage,
They deserve
tell
it.
jokes with a microphone in their hand now that they're a comedian. Dude, Facebook is the worst because every fucking person that has comedian before their name,
Mm-hmm.
it
Dilutes.
chances are they're not that funny.
It dilutes.
They just now they got the title, and you're like, fuck.
It's
man.
like podcasts as we both look at our cameras.
I'm a podcaster. Who? Podcaster Richie Weissinger? / comedian?
Do you know who I am?
/ actor?
Bartender in Webster. I don't know your wife's name, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I really think that's a big problem. Again, you should have a fair shot if you're bringing people, because the point of doing an open mic, this is why you hear about open mics at random bars and coffee shops and stuff like that. Of course, they want business on an off night, and the value for the person hosting the open mic and organizing it is they get to go and get time, and their friends get to go up and practice comedy. But I think there's got to be more of a judgment.
Yeah, if
Because
somebody's...
that's all comedy is judgment, isn't it? Like, you're eating if you get the crowd to like you. That's kind of the gist of it, right? If you build this fan base who judges you on everything you say on stage, good, bad, whatever, hopefully good is what you're aiming for. That's what you're building your career on as a comedian. It's all judgment.
It is, yeah.
So how do you know how to adjust if you're not getting judged honestly when you're bombing?
So I don't know, man. I'm blessed to be brought up by some absolute amazing people in comedy because they never let me bullshit.
Right.
Dude, they would call me out, man. They call me out to this day, dude. And I love them for it, man. I got some great people, and you can't be in denial about who you are.
That's exactly what I'm saying. And
if I slip up, they bust on me for that. And you need that. And
or if you say something that they know is easy, they're gonna tell you, man, you went for that low hanging fruit.
That's why I will never say that I killed. I'll never say that I killed. I think that's like to me personally, I just think that's a fucking dude, you're supposed to, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to, I would say, then again, this is me personally. I will never say that I killed, but I will say, dude, tonight was so fun.
Sure.
Because you're supposed to kill. It's your job to kill. It's like saying dude, it's like I don't know. If you're playing basketball and you score 30 points, yeah, you did good, but you didn't go out there to not score.
It's like a firefighter coming out of a building after they save they start doing woo! Damn, I just saved someone.
There's a pat on your back for doing your job.
Right.
Yeah.
It should be an unspoken thing. I agree. But I think there's
but
a lot
now let me actually circle back to
Sure.
what you said about open mics. I think the problem that you might have experienced with Rochester open mics, and I can only say this from the few mics that I've done, because I really don't go to many open mics. What I've noticed, there's a lot of comedians in the audience.
Right.
And I think a comedian should respect another comedian. If they're working out material and they're not doing that well, they're not going to light them. But I think if the place is packed with people that are coming to watch a comedy show and they're bombing, light them. Get them off.
What about, so the open mics I've been to, you get 5 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they light you. And a lot of people barely respect the light, and it goes to
Right.
7, 8, 10 minutes of this. And
Cut the
a
mic,
lot of
dude.
times-
Turn the music on.
right.
Do something.
But where was I going with this? With the comedian, because the comedians are in the audience because they're waiting to go up, right? Is that what you're talking about?
It might be like that. Yeah.
But still, how do you know what sucked if you're not self-aware enough to know that nobody's laughing, this is going nowhere?
I don't know. You got to have some you got to be your toughest critic, I think. I used to one thing I was taught was, and I was an offender of this too, because when I was hitting mics all the time, I didn't tape my set.
Mm-hmm.
I did it a lot. I didn't do it enough, because you have to watch yourself as an audience member, I think, and be like, dude, what the fuck? Why was I doing that? Dude, I remember this one time I did a comedy. I did an open mic, and I kept saying, I'm just joking, after I was telling jokes.
Oof.
And the comedian, and like, I'm nervous, but like, I remember this kid was like, hey man, you don't have to say you're joking. We know you're joking. You're on stage
as a comedian,
yeah,
or a potential
so
comedian.
Then I'm like, okay, that I got to work on that. Like, these are like nervous tics. I think you see like your hands in your pocket. You're saying a lot. You doing certain, like, your body language is off. Like, you can notice that if you study yourself, and you can see like, all right, this joke worked. This joke did not work.
Mm-hmm.
Cut it out.
And it's kind of like, I compare it to if you go to work as a cashier at a grocery store, which I've done. I don't know if you have. And you take the training on what to do in certain situations, not like a safety thing, but like how to use the register, let's say. Mm-hmm. You could train on how to use the register all day, but when grandma's coming in and she's trying to write a check and the computer freezes, only until you're in it. And this isn't life or death situation. I'm just trying to make it as trivial as possible. You don't really know what to do and how to talk to the customer at the same time while working on whatever the problem is. And that's the difference between an open mic with all comedians and an open mic or show with a real crowd. Because the mindset couldn't be more different. True, between people going out to see a comedy show for date night or for an anniversary or for a random thing to do on a Tuesday night versus comedians scribbling into their notepad ready to go up.
Notes,
it's
different.
It couldn't be more different.
And as a comedian, open mics and shows are completely different too. Because I made the mistake of again, when I was doing a lot of comedy, I was doing a lot of gigs. Like, I was doing weekends all the time. I was doing real shows with people that were there to see a show. Mm-hmm. So then I would do an open mic, and the vibe in an open mic is completely different from a show. Because at a show, you're like, hey, everybody, how's it going? Like, you put on more energy. You go to an open mic with everybody just sitting on the floor, low energy. And you're like, you jump all over them, and they're like, compare it to it's corny, dude.
Compare it to the gym. Imagine going to the gym and having to wait and watch 11 people bench press before you can get up and bench press. You're an aspiring bodybuilder. That's kind of what the feeling is as the crowd member in an open mic. If you're also a comedian,
they get tired, man.
And I've done open mics. And then I did a show. I've only done one show. It was because my friend was headlining, and he's like, "Just come do 5 minutes." I think I was considered the guest or the middle or something like that.
Yeah, the guest spot. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a one or two before me.
What was it? Where was this at? The Carlson?
In Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
At the Helium.
Oh, yeah. Cool, nice.
It was incredibly intimidating, but the stuff that I thought was my C and D stuff did very well. Like, what I would consider easy stuff, I got pops. Like, I would have to wait a second for them to stop laughing. And I'm not, I was not even, I did like 3 minutes because I got very nervous and it felt like forever. So I wrapped it up because I didn't want to go too long and mess up the show. But the atmosphere, I don't even know how comedians are successful in that limbo of open mics and them trying to get shows, because it's just different. It's so different.
I mean, I think the open mics are the gym.
Right.
And then the shows are like, the bodybuilding competition where you get to flex,
or the game or something like that.
Yeah, right. Because the open mic, you get the muscle memory. You can go on automatic. You're practicing what you're saying. Mm-hmm. So if a waitress walks by and drops a plate of shit, or someone starts giving you shit, where you are in your set.
Right.
You have to go off.
Never thought of it like that.
If you can't make someone laugh at a real show, you're fucked, dude. If you bomb at a real, it
people
happens.
Pay.
When there's 350 people in there and you can't get a pop, it's because you're not that. And again, it happens though. It does happen. You can bomb at a real show. It could just be an off night. But if you're just not doing well at a real show, you're probably not. You need to go back to the gym. And an open mic, if you could get a little bit of a laugh, you got something to work with.
So what does Rochester need?
What does Rochester need?
In the comedy scene? You could be brutally honest without being personal, because I have an answer too, but I'd like for you to answer first. What does it need to make it that, oh my gosh, I can't wait for Friday because there's a $5 show at the coffee club, or the coffee shop or whatever, and people get excited, not fall back on the open mic?
I don't know, dude. I really don't know, man. I can't figure it out. I really can't.
Okay. Because I've been thinking about this for like 2 years, so I'm a little ahead of you.
So I've been thinking about it for like 3 years, dude.
I've been thinking about it for like 3 years and 1 month.
Really?
Yeah. It's so. I just had to read.
You're gonna run one up me. Okay.
I just had to redo the math real quick.
Well, dude, my whole thing is like, so when I was away because I lived in Rochester, I moved to Florida and then I moved back. When I was in Florida, dude, they could pack any club, any bar, any dude, they packed a bowling alley. I did shows at a fucking where they had dog races. I was telling jokes into the microphone.
The Chinese
and
food place?
Could see no dog track, dude, casino and shit. Guys, he was joking. Yeah.
I'm just joking. I'm Richie Weissinger.
But dude, I was. That's my time. I've been joking this whole time. But dude, I was telling jokes and I could see dogs running around a track.
You need to make one Chinese food joke.
Nah, fuck that.
Did anybody?
No, I was.
Oh, would not be welcome there.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, man. But they were like they would do shows. Dude, I remember I did a show at a fucking restaurant called Beef O'Brady's. And it was horrible.
That has to be a Chinese food place.
Beef O'Brady's?
Or an Irish place. Okay.
And I did it actually with my Irish friend.
Oh, well, you're welcome there.
Yeah.
I mean, they want you to be.
I'm not Irish, though.
Every time I go into an Irish bar, I want
he
them to be.
Oh, wait, he was with me.
I want the bartender to be scared of the light, and I want them to have a thick Irish accent. I don't care if it's bad and an impression. I want it to be there.
Dude, we got paid to go to a place called Beef O'Brady's, and I was the host, and I stood on like milk crates covered in a blanket. We had a tower that was like, you're just like a shoebox with tower.
Mm-hmm.
That was the speakers. Hey guys, you guys ready for a comedy show? There's kids eating cheeseburgers and mozzarella sticks.
Okay.
And they're looking up like, comedy show. I'm like, dude, this is gonna be horrible. But like we get through it. And I think that's the part that people don't know, is that when you're with people, your friends, and you're doing comedy shows at dog tracks, bowling alleys, coffee shops, and Beef O'Brady's, and you're bombing together, and you laugh, dude. The laughter that I've had in car rides, going to and from shows, dude, those are my favorite memories.
So what's the solution? You're gonna
for Rochester? I don't know, because I've tried to give away tickets. I've tried to pay for tickets. I've done shows where tickets are free.
Mm-hmm.
I've lived here. I know people for years.
Is it just, do we just have a bad product here?
I just think Rochester, unless it's a huge name, they don't want to. I don't know how the support system is. Maybe it's just me. So I stopped trying to figure it out. Maybe it's just me. Maybe people don't like me. I don't know. I don't have any friends. So maybe no. No, but like, I don't know, dude. I really don't know how. I don't know. I stopped trying to figure it out. I really did, because I don't want to get upset, because comedians need asses in seats.
Right.
Do you hear me? Comedians need to make you laugh. You can't make a room full of chairs laugh. I did a show on Friday. I was headlining it. I wasn't really headlining because I only did like 20 minutes or something. $5 tickets. I took a picture before the show because I like to do that from the stage sometimes. Every seat was empty.
Oh, come on.
5-10 minutes before the show. I mean, we got about 20 people total in there, and I got to make, like, the improv team was up before me, so they were there. So that's like an extra like 5-7 people plus everybody else that ended up coming in. So I did 20 something minutes in front of 50. And trust me, dude, not complaining. I had really good time. I did it for Sarah Shipley and Keith Gomez. Really nice.
I know Keith.
Good people.
I think Keith knows my girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome people, man. And I would have done it in front of nobody. And I've done shows in front of nobody. I had a lot of fun, but I don't even know where I was going. Oh yeah. The seats, dude. We need asses in seats. We need asses in seats. We need people to support us. And because I've done comedy in front of nobody, and I know I'm kind of ranting right now, but if a friend of mine was playing the fucking clarinet and said, dude, I'm doing a show. I'm playing the clarinet on Friday. $7. I would come see him.
What about if there was 14 clarinet shows a week?
I'd fucking be at one of them.
What I'm saying is,
show up.
Do you think there's an oversaturation of
comedy here?
Everybody calling a show, everybody calling 3 or 4 comedians going up with 8 chairs a show and this big production. Do you think that's,
I don't think it's a production, but I think it's a show.
But what I'm saying is sometimes it is just an open mic where at a bar. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of, like, I think there's got to be more equity in these words, you know.
So you're thinking that the quality of, you think it's the quality.
I think it's diluted. I think everything's a show. This person's backyard, this bowling alley, this coffee shop, which is great.
Dude, I know friends that, no joke, I know friends that I'm pretty sure they were at a Waffle House and they started telling jokes without a microphone. I know friends that pulled out a portable speaker in front of a laundromat and started telling jokes outside.
Do you think there should be a license to become a comedian?
No.
To call yourself a comedian?
No.
Do you think you don't think that if the city of Rochester put out a vote and goes, you have to pass a test, I don't know what the test would be, maybe doing 8 minutes, solid, and making a mixed demographic crowd laugh a certain amount of time. I don't know. And then you could become a licensed comedian, and then you could say, I'm a comedian and I'm doing a show. But anybody else who does that, who doesn't pass that test and get licensed, is fined. Would you vote yes or no for something like that?
That's a great question, man.
Because that's how it is with
I would vote no. I would vote no.
No?
I would vote no because honestly, comedy competitions are bullshit. They are, dude. I just think that I think it's up to the I think it's up to the management, you know. I think it's up to the management that allows a show to continue allowing people that suck. They're putting dude, you got to realize that you're putting your name on something.
So you're saying the business should vet who they're accepting as comedians to do
Correct.
a show in their business.
Yes, because
we have an answer. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, I think so because
this is a good idea.
There are people out there that I got 45 minutes, and now they're a headliner, and then you go and you're like, dude, I know this fucking guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's not funny, but they still pay him less than they would a professional, a real headliner, and now that real headliner's got to lower his. So the businesses should vet. I like this. I think we're going in the right direction. So if you say I'm a nationally touring headliner and I crush, just hypothetically,
give us a name.
Say like Tony Rock. All right, Chris Rock's brother crushes, dude. He's amazing.
Sure.
But say the Funny Bone, for instance. Tony Rock goes to the Funny Bone, sells out all the time. For whatever reason, the Funny Bone gets a fucking email from Joe Schmo who says he's a headliner and he's amazing. Here's 5 minutes of my set.
Here's a video.
Then the management there, and the Funny Bone, first of all, would never do this.
Okay, yeah, we're hypothetical right now for the record.
They all of a sudden now are going to pay Joe Schmo a quarter of what they would pay someone like Tony Rock. So who knows now, that might hurt anyone else's like Tony Rock's value because now they could just fucking pay anybody to do comedy. So I think it's up to the management. I think it's up to the person that puts their name on this comedy show. Hey, we got a comedy show going up over at fucking the Waffle House. The Waffle House now owns that show, even if it was produced by you. Mm-hmm. They're co-signing you.
Right. And they should do more vetting. So businesses locally.
Dude, you could give a fuck how the show goes. You're still going to get paid. Now, the Waffle House is the one that's good. Oh, dude, you can't do it. The last comedy show I was here, all they did was fucking suck, dude.
Okay.
That's what I think.
So we should put on a comedy show and really vet people.
Yeah, we should put on a comedy competition.
A real one.
Yeah. No, dude, I would love that. But it's just, man, it's such a interesting beast, comedy. And I would never tell someone that they're not a comedian because we all start somewhere.
Sure.
So dude, people have done really bad, and I've watched them become really good.
See, I'm so cutthroat. Like, I hate when people call themselves entrepreneurs because they have ideas and they've never executed anything.
Oh, dude, I'm an entrepreneur.
Like,
I have so many ideas.
I just don't. I hate that. Yeah. I was in radio and I didn't call myself a host until the paycheck said it. I was on the air just as much, 33% with 3 people on the show, and I was the producer, and I would say that I'm an on-air producer before. I don't know. I think there's got to be some kind of.
You have to earn it.
Yeah, right. You can't just say you're a comedian because you went.
But you got to figure out. It's too tough to say. How do you earn that?
Right. For now, yeah. All right. Do you have anything lined up right now, or is that why you're here to get stuff lined up?
Dude, no, I don't have anything lined up. This was a lot of fun, man. Even if I had something lined up, I'd be here, man.
Where can we keep track of you if you do decide, hey, if somebody's watching, which is going to happen, people are watching.
Dude, yeah, no, I'm
and they're like, I want to see Richie. I want to see him on stage. He's talking all this shit about how.
Oh, dude, you want to see some real comedy? No. I mean, right now I have nothing, but you never know. I mean, it comes in waves in Rochester because we only have so much here. But I'm working on a few things. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens.
I have some friends who used to host open mics at their places, and I think we need a real
Dude, we should do a
open
house
mic.
show.
We should do a real open mic. We'll talk after this, but
Yeah.
we should do a real open mic where if you're not good, you're getting cut.
Oh, get the old school cane.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks, Richie, for being
Yeah, no
here.
problem,
I want
man.
you back on for sure. We could actually talk about some topics and riff on some stuff. I think it'll be a great time. Thank you so much for watching the show. Thanks for listening, subscribing, sharing, all that stuff. Appreciate the support so early on. Any feedback on what the comedy scene needs in Rochester, why don't you go out? You can be brutally honest. You can be anonymous. ChrisKonyaShow@gmail.com, or find me on social and message me. Would love some honest feedback because maybe Richie and I could fix something here. Talk to you soon.
You cause me trouble. You